Hey guys, it's Ross Gordon on the Space Coach. Today we're going to take a look at the epilogue chapter of the Solo official guide. And here it's spread. So chapter 6 on this is going solo. So the others were about the heist, what happens after, the Mimban, and the early days on Corellia. So let's see what it says. Here we go. This is mostly like behind the scenes stuff. You see some concept art for Lando and L3 there. You see the Falcon with filming going on. And here again, different colour scheme for L3. So what it says, the return of Han Solo. When the possibility of new Star Wars movies became reality in 2012, writer and director Lawrence Kasdan expressed an interest in revisiting Han Solo. Kasdan had made Solo into an icon in his screenplays for The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, and was now intrigued with exploring Solo's youth. Like Han himself, the journey would be full of surprises. Now, the Falcon flies again, it says at the top here. There you see a nice design of it there. Here are some concept for it, which I think we've seen in the Solo art. Solo will be the 4th consecutive Star Wars movie produced by the crew at Pinewood. Having already exactingly recreated the Millennium Falcon interiors and exteriors for The Force Awakens, developing an earlier incarnation of the ship presented an evolution of challenges already met. A few special modifications. The art department spent months imagining possibilities for an earlier version of the Falcon, building on classic shapes and designs envisioned for the original films by Joe Johnston and Ralph McQuarrie. A page of sketches by Patrick Fallwetter and art from Ian McHugh show the range of options considered. Now, here we see Ron Howard, who obviously was not the original director. So, the project began under the stewardship of directors Phil Lord and Chris Miller. Director Ron Howard took over the controls of this ship after their departure, steering Solo through production, post-production and release. Wow, that's cold, isn't it? They were directors, this is not a director. Forget the other guys. Howard has had a long association with Lucasfilm, appearing in the American Graffiti films in 1973 and 79, and directing Willow in 1988. But this is his first Star Wars story. And based on how he did, I hope it's not his last one. Because as I've said before, didn't really rate him as a director, so it's all a bit wordy and boring. You can watch them once and then it's like, ugh, do I have to see that again? Solo is very different, and Willow was good as well. So I do hope he gets another chance. So here we see a not-so-fast friendship, it mentions here, and there's that concept art we saw of Han and Chewie in the pit. The concept for Solo took on the dynamics of a body picture early on. Longtime friends and partners Chewbacca and Han Solo would meet for the first time in this tale. It was not destined to be a friendly meeting, however, as this concept art by Jack Dudman illustrates. And then just a bit about Lando and I guess the droids, his new co-pilots. Solo would also bring young Han face-to-face with Lando Calrissian for the first time. Every pilot needs a reliable co-pilot by his side, and Lando's droid partner L337 was to be unique. She underwent a great deal of exploration to find a memorable design. Illustration by Glyn Dillon, facial exploration by James Klein, and body illustration by Glyn Dillon. So these pictures, like this and this, I think this is Glyn Dillon. So that's what it says on that page. And then we also have here an expanding galaxy. This is beautiful art here. I'm sure this is in the Solo guide as well, of the Star Destroyer being built on Corellia. You see designs for Enfys Nest at the top there, that sort of thing. So let's see what it says. In addition to revisiting and reinventing the familiar, Solo brings its audience something new. As with all Star Wars movies, the story explores parts of the galaxy previously unseen, gangs never met before, and new heroes and villains. These ideas all underwent refinement through hundreds of concept illustrations. We see here some of the criminal concepts. So this will be the Grindelids, the White Worm Gang, and I'm sure this is in the Art of Solo as well. So what this says, this story occurs before Han Solo becomes entangled with Jabba and the Hutts. So new criminal scum and villainy was needed for this tale. Solo's Dickensian origin as an orphan working for thieves was given a Star Wars twist by making those thieves loathsome white worms. The art is by Luke Fisher and Jake Lunt Davies, who I'm subscribed to on Instagram, and you should also. He does great stuff. He's the one who designed the Porgs, amongst many other things, for The Last Jedi. So we see here new foes, and this is talking about, of course, the various iterations for Enfys Nest. One of Solo's cinematic influences was the Western genre and its depiction of the frontier. This surfaced in the designs for Enfys Nest and the Cloud Riders, which referenced Native Americans, but are also infused with the aesthetics of outlaw motorcycle gangs and samurai, artwork by James Klein and Glyn Dillon. And we've mentioned that as well, how a lot of those influences are very apparent in some of the outfits. The person on the Vandal Lodge who had the fringed jacket, that was an example of that, but all of the Cloud Riders very similar. So now we'll have a look at the world of legend, that world of course being Corellia. It's been known that Han Solo is Corellian since 1977, but his home planet had never before been visited on screen. For the purposes of Solo, and in this artwork by James Klein, that's the Star Destroyer, Corellia was envisioned as a past its prime, blue-collar shipbuilding town facing hard times. Corellia's ocean setting creates a bookend with Savarin, turning the story of Solo into a coast-to-coast cinematic road trip. I have to admit that went over my head, the start from one coast to the other at the end, but sometimes these things are a bit subtle. And then it just says that Han's land speeder in the Corellia chase sequence was inspired by muscle car cinema of the 1960s and 70s, and obviously American Graffiti is part of that. The M68 speeder design was influenced by the classic 1968 Mustang. And there, of course, it is there. And we've seen it in the spread. And I do really like that vehicle. I think it's really quite sleek and elegant. So yes, that is, in fact, the very last from the Solo Official Guide. We have gone through all of it now. We've discussed every single page on there, I believe. All of the new characters, all of the locations, all of the vehicles. And it's been fantastic. I have thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope you guys have too. I do recommend you pick this up, even though you don't need to. You just have to watch my videos and you'll see everything that's in it, because these books are always fantastic. The tidbits that are in here are always worth your while. So there you go, guys. That is just it might not be our final look at the Solo Official Guide, because as and when I get figures like, say, Enfys Nest and Dryden Voss, Beckett, whatever, we'll probably dip back into it to have a refresher course on those characters. But for now, I hope you enjoyed our look at the Solo Official Guide. Please subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this content. Leave me a comment or a suggestion for upcoming topic you'd like to see discussed. Or like the video.